Morning, ninth graders. So since our Google Meet isn't going to work for today, here is a grammar assignment I would like you to complete today for Friday. So today we're going to be working on what we call the simple present. And when we say present, we mean present tense. And you're going to be working on asking and answering yes, no questions. So these are questions that you can ask, and the answer would be either a yes or a no for an answer. And it'd be happening in the present time, which means right now. So for example, we're going to be using the words do or does. So for example, do you like coffee? Yes, I do. Does Bob like coffee? Remember, we use do with I, you, we, and they, and we use does with the third person, which is he, she, or it. So people's names, one person, we're going to be using does. So the main verb in the question does not have the final S. The final S is part of does. So for example, you wouldn't say, does Bob likes coffee? That would not be correct. It's, does Bob like coffee? Okay. Are you a student? It would be the correct way to answer. Incorrect would be, do you be a student? That doesn't work. Okay. So when the main verb is a form of be, do is not used. If you're going to be using are or is or am, you would not be using do together. So here's some examples. Do you like tea? Yes, I do like tea. Do you like tea? No, I don't like tea. Does Bob like tea? Yes, he does. Or no, he doesn't. Do, don't, does, and doesn't are used in the short answers to yes, no questions in the simple present. So here you're going to be making some questions and then you're going to be creating some answers. So for example, it says, these ones are done for us, but in these little parentheses here, it says, I like tea. So you're supposed to come up with a question around that. So the question would be, do you like tea? Yes, I do. I like tea. Do you like coffee? This person said, I'm going to say, I don't like coffee. No, comma, I don't. So then this one says, I don't speak Japanese. What would the question be? Well, on the line you'd write, do you speak Japanese? And this person is saying, no, they don't. So you would write, no, comma, I don't. How about this one? Anne speaks French. So now we have to create a question that goes with that. Does Anne speak? No S on speak. French. Does Anne speak French? Yes, comma, she does. We'll do one more. Anne and Tom don't speak Arabic. Okay, so let's make a question that would be the answer to. Do Tom and Anne speak Arabic? Part B. No, comma, they don't. Okay, so you're going to see a series of words here where you're going to be creating some questions and answers that have the words do or does or don't or doesn't for the response. Okay, this is an oral activity. You don't need to do this. Here you're going to be making some more questions. Does Carlos speak English? He speaks it. Yes, he does. So it's the same kind of practice where you're going to be creating questions based on the answers in the little parentheses, okay? So that's going to be for this part, is creating and answering questions. And then the final piece today is asking what we call information questions. And these would be questions where you are using the word where. So we're talking about location. So do they live? So we're using do or does, subject, and the main verb. So part A says, do they live in Tokyo? Yes, they do. Another question you could ask is, where do they live? And the answer would be in Tokyo. So when you're using the do or the do or does, the answer is going to have a yes or a no answer. When you ask the question starting with where do they live? The answer has to be the name of a place. It can't be yes. Because you can't say, where do they live? You can't answer with yes. That doesn't make sense. Does Gina live in Rome? Yes, she does. Or no, she doesn't. Where does Gina live? In Rome. So this part A and part C are what we call yes/no questions, which I was talking about before. The answer to those questions can be yes or no. But B and D are called information questions. The answer gives information. Where asks the information about the place. So notice in the examples, the form of yes/no questions and information questions is the same. Do and does plus a subject plus a main verb. Okay, do the students go to school every day? Yes, they do. So do or does, subject is the person we're talking about, and the main verb is the action that we're asking about. All right, so now we're just going to be making questions for this last part again. You are a question maker today, guys. So the answer says, yes, she does. And they say, Jean eats lunch in the cafeteria every day. So the question, since we know it has yes, we know it's got to be a do or does question. Does Jean eat lunch in the cafeteria every day? Yes, she does. Now down here it says, at the cafeteria. It doesn't say yes. It doesn't say no. Jean eats lunch at the cafeteria. So no, we know we need to ask an information word. Where? Where does Jean eat lunch every day? At the cafeteria. Okay, Peter works at the post office. We don't see yes or no here, so we're going to have to ask the where question. Where does Peter work? At the post office. Down here it says, yes, he does. Peter works at the post office. So here we would write, does Peter work at the post office? Yes, comma, he does. Okay, so you're going to finish creating the questions that go with this. And that is it for today. You don't need to do exercise 23. So when you get to the kangaroo, stop. There's just a couple questions here. All right. So today you're working on this for your grammar, and then I will see you Monday. Sorry, the Google Meet isn't working today. We'll get back to our fairy tale unit on Monday. Bye, guys.